we're gonna get right into it. 5 things that I hate about owning this motherfucking Supra. Okay, so starting off, first let's talk about the things I've added to this car. Only thing that I've added is an exhaust. Want to see that? Go to my last video. I actually, like 2 videos ago, maybe now that I did it. Go back, look at that, leave a like, comment, whatever you want to do. I installed the Boost Logic exhaust, made it stupid loud because, I don't know, compensating, I don't know. But that's the only thing I've done to it. So the number one thing that I guess I can start off I hated was that they didn't make the exhaust loud enough, and that's just a personal thing. Aside from the exhaust, I feel like the turbo is, I want more out of it, and I don't know if that's just a personal thing, but I feel like they made this car too good to where like you just want more, you know? Like in sport mode, it crackled on a stock exhaust, right? And like stock engine, all that, it crackled. So it was just slightly to where you could barely hear it, and you're just like, what? I wanted to like pop, I wanted to boom, like make it super loud. So they just tempted you with the thought of like, man, this car could be like a 2JZ. It's a Beamer, but it could be like a 2JZ, but it's really not. And I think they just made it good enough. Don't get me wrong, the quality of the inside is, at least on mine, there's no like squeaks or anything like crazy that goes on with it. It's honestly good. I've only had it for like 2,000 miles now, because I don't drive it that much, but it's definitely a lot better to me, a lot more fun to me than my last car. Okay, so number 2. The second thing that I would say I hate, and don't get me wrong, this was a super hard video to make. You can probably tell by the way that I'm kind of picking at straws of like what I didn't like. But I would say what I didn't like is that it doesn't have a 2JZ in it. I wanted this car, right? My dream car, 2 dream cars back when I was a little kid was the R34 and then the freaking Mark IV Supra. That was my favorite. It had to do with Paul Walker. It had to do with, I was really into mechanics. I was, my whole like, I don't know, from like 8 to 12, I was just into like cars. Like, oh, that's, you know, be on the porch, like, oh, that's my car, that's my car. And I feel like them going with BMW, and I don't have anything against BMW, but them going with BMW to make this design, make this car in partnership with Toyota, I just feel like we didn't need all that, you know? True enthusiasts, the people that are actually buying this car, doing stuff with this car, we wanted it because it was a fucking Supra. The Supra was a fucking Supra. All right, so number 3. Now this is gonna be kind of a tricky one because it's something that I like about the car. And actually, I would say something I love about the car, and also it's kind of like a gift and a curse. The wideness of this car. Now I know, trust me, I know. And if anyone knows me out there, I'm going to make this car wider at some point. But I would say more the bubbliness of this car. If you're going to go with making a Supra, right? You're going to go with making a Supra, making a legendary JDM car, and you're trying to pay homage, but you're going to go with BMW, I feel like there could be more body lines instead of just a bubbly mess, you know? I personally think that I'll make some B-roll of this, but the way that the trunk is, it's encompasses like all the way down to the front fender, lower than the headlights, or just as low as the headlights, and it's all kind of mixed in like to each other, but it's just huge. And then also with that hood, I feel like, why not make it open the other way? You know, you're already changing stuff on it. You're already, like, you're paying homage, but then you're changing stuff on it. You're not using all of Toyota, which I do not have a problem with, like, car companies doing that. I think it usually goes in a good direction. But you know, you can nitpick at stuff. And like I said, I do love how wide it is and how much it like grabs people's attention. Like, what is that? It doesn't look like everything else on the road. Just like the in my opinion, the Mark IV Supra didn't look like everything else on the road. So number 4, we're gonna go around to the engine for this one, because this is probably the most personal to me that I cannot stand it. All right, so the ECU. If you don't already know, if you're gonna tune this car at this point when this video is made, go with the 2021. Because at this moment, I can't tune my car. I want to do all these things to this car. I want to downpipe. I want, you know, freaking intake, new turbo. I can't do it with this car. I believe it is like June 2020 or earlier that you can tune your car. That's probably the most frustrating thing, because any company sees what is going on with their car. They see that, okay, the Supra, the Mark IV, freaking tuning, taking the drag strips, you freaking race it like hell down the freaking drag strip. And I get it, it's not the same engine, it's not the same company, you know, it's not the same perspective that they had back in, you know, 1997 and beyond. But damn, man, you had to lock the ECU. You had to. And that's just from like my perspective. Like, I don't buy cars to just if I want to just drive around in a car, I'd buy a Camry. For them to have already done like a 2020, and I'm sure there's politics and stuff to it, but already had a 2020 or like a previous A90 engine that you could tune, and then you're gonna go and like make it like lock it even more with like the firewall and everything. I just feel like you could, someone in the company has to be like, you know, this is stupid as fuck. Oh, side note, if you didn't know, right here is where your ECU is. If you guys can see that, this is where your ECU is. You take this off, which are your 2 clips, one right there, one right there, and this is your ECU. There's 2 clamps down here that you pull out. Pull those out, you pull this whole thing out, and you can't really see it, but once you pull it out, there's a white tape with the QR code thing on it, and then it actually has date on it. So that's how you check, just in case you guys didn't know. All right, guys, last thing, and now this is kind of, I would say, petty, because you know, you buy this car and you don't expect it to have a whole bunch of space, but this car has absolutely no space. You know, it's a 2-door, it's a 2-seater hatchback, and I guess you would think that, okay, it's a hatchback, it probably has more space than the usual car, but it really doesn't. Right here is how much you can actually put in this car. The walls actually go a little bit wider, but honestly, when you're trying to get it out and put things in, you don't want to put anything bigger than that space. Now, I'm not going to use this car to freaking haul a freaking chair or, you know, some type of stuff that would damage the car, obviously. But if this just simply had a back seat and then this hatch and made this whole platform a little longer, I feel like they probably honestly would have sold more. Just put a seat in there. If Toyota, if you're listening, next time, make a trim where it has, you know, you can put a seat back there, make it a little longer chassis, maybe make it a GT, you know, it's a GR GT. But all in all, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I don't hate my Supra. There's things that I don't like about it, but it is still an amazing car. It performs amazingly. The way that it takes corners is really good, and at least mine, for the few thousand miles I've had it, has not had any oil consumption, so that's a good one for BMW. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my other channels, my other videos, and down below, let me know if you agree with this list. If you have a Supra, if you don't have a Supra, you want a Supra, this actually helped. I always love interacting with you guys, so definitely subscribe. Got more content coming. Oh, it's a Supra.
Oh, a Toyota.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those before.
Oh, yeah.
Nice looking.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
like it.
Yeah. I try not to bring it out too much because it's dirty and I don't want to clean it.
I know, right? Well, you know what? When you pay that kind of money, you got to use it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's why I keep telling everybody. I tell my wife that all the time.
It's nice, though. I love it.
Thank you very much.